Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode something of the Spearhead Sundays podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Spears. And guys, Keelan's back. He's here. He is back. Last episode, he wasn't back. That was an AI rendition of Keelan. But this time, it is the real thing. He is here. And look, I wanted to talk about Johnny Somali. Okay. I have since my video, I got a lot of pushback because I said I think that he's funny. And I was laughing at a lot of the videos that he was putting out. And I'm here to say here and now that I thought, and have always believed that Johnny Somali is very funny. And that doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve every single punishment, but there is something undeniably entertaining about watching a guy just completely bring a city to its knees, a country. The guy was in Japan just breaking every single social rule that there is, being unbelievably obnoxious and filming it for me to watch and laugh. Now, it's not good. And the best part is when strangers punch him in the back of the head, but that's all part of the thrill. There's nothing funnier than like thousands of people tuning into a guy that they hate, just waiting for a stranger to assault him. It's like there's a reason why we don't have the Coliseum anymore, and that's because we get to watch these people on Kick get attacked by strangers. And in fact, we can participate. You know? Oh, Johnny Somali's on a bus in South Korea. I'm going to play bonsai MP3s. Oh, Johnny Somali is streaming at the Holocaust Museum. I'm going to play a Hitler speech. You know, these are the types of things that we can do. And Johnny Somali is a terrible person that deserves every single year that he's going to get in prison. But I think that he's very funny, and I loved watching him, and I am going to miss him. And I'm glad that he's getting locked away, but I can't wait for the next idiot to start doing it. Remember Bunk Gang?
No.
There was a guy, he would film himself on his phone walking into stores. He would go, "How much is this?" And they would go, $300. And he would go, "Bunk Gang," and run away and steal it. And he did that for months and months and months, and I loved every video. There was a guy on Snapchat that used to Snapchat me every Friday and Saturday night of him pissing on toilet rolls in packed nightclubs. And I would laugh and laugh and laugh and say, "Please keep sending me these." And obviously, I'm 30, so is he, if he made it to that age. I don't get those anymore, and I miss them because I think it's very funny to picture someone rolling on ecstasy. They've had too many drugs, too much to drink. They really need to poo. They go and they spray the toilet bowl, and then in a drunken, drugged out stupor, they reach for the toilet roll. It's covered in piss, and it wraps around their hands, and now they're stuck with a shitty bumhole and someone else's piss all over their hands. And that's reprehensible, and he should be banned from every nightclub. But I like watching that stuff.
I do a height challenge. See how high I can piss on the wall.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Me and my friends used to go to house parties and rip the ceiling lights out of the roof.
Yeah, that sucks.
But it made a funny noise.
But that's really mean.
Yeah. And it's not good. And if we got caught, which we didn't, we should have been prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But while it was happening, it was very funny. If you think that that's controversial, how about this? What's the difference between Johnny Somali and Eric Andre? Like, if we really think about it, and I know I just pissed off thousands of people. I know someone's sitting there going, "Oh, what? Eric Andre does it on TV, so it's fine?" It's funny when Eric Andre does it. Yeah, Eric's funnier, but I'm talking about the level of disruption and chaos that is caused on public transport or in a restaurant. What's the difference? It's causing the same amount of discomfort and rage in strangers. In fact, I would argue that in many cases, Eric Andre has gone much further than Johnny Somali has. And I think they're both great. I love them both. All right? Sure, Johnny Somali will play bonsai on a South Korean bus. All right? But I've seen video of Eric Andre pouring milk all over himself and passengers on the subway in New York. That is worse. All right? Imagine going to your minimum wage job you fucking hate and some idiot who you don't even recognize from TV pours milk all over you.
I think the main difference is that Eric Andre's intent is to make people laugh.
Yeah.
And Johnny Somali is antagonizing people.
To make me laugh.
To make you laugh. And that's probably where the disrespect difference comes from.
Yeah. It's the intention, but the effect is the same. Guys, what I'm trying to say is we need to get the Eric Andre show off air. I want to watch the Johnny Somali show. Live stream from a South Korean prison. Dude, he's so fucked. I love that the reason why he just got absolutely ethered in South Korea is it was just like racism and ignorance. Like he just thought, I got away with everything in Japan because Japanese people, their culture makes them very timid and less likely to say anything when I'm disruptive. So I can do that in every Asian nation. And then he goes to South Korea, which is probably the worst, maybe the second worst one. You wouldn't do that in China, but the second worst one would be South Korea because, I mean, technically they are a country at war. Do you know what I mean? Like they're bordering North Korea, and every single male does mandatory military service. Every single guy that you're pissing off is a soldier. No wonder he got the shit kicked out of him so many times. And what's wild too is like the disrespect of the comfort woman statue. I didn't go into it in the YouTube video because I didn't want to get it suppressed, but no one watches these. So the comfort women, it's horrific. It's they shouldn't even really be called comfort women, but I think that's like it's just a direct translation type thing. We should probably change our word. But basically, when Japan and South Korea when the girls were fighting, Japan took a bunch of so many women as sex slaves for their soldiers. And so that's what the comfort women statue kind of commemorates. It represents all of these women that this horrible thing happened to. It's like culturally as significant as the Holocaust is to Jewish people. And him doing that to the statue made news all across the country. So I would imagine that all of the prisoners that he'll be sharing a cell with will have watched that. So when he goes in, all right, already he's black, so he's not going to have a fun time in South Korea. Bad enough in America. Now you're in South Korea. Welcome to the big leagues, brother. You thought racism was bad in the States? Welcome. Wait until you're in a fucking prison in South Korea and every single prisoner has watched you rub baby oil and simulate fingering a statue to commemorate sex slaves. That guy is fucked. Do you reckon he does time? I think he does.
Yeah, I think so. One of the comments was saying that South Korea has like a 90-something% conviction rate.
Yeah. And them finding drugs in his system is a big one. I did a bit of research into their drug laws. You can't do any drugs for any reason. It's a no tolerance country. But not only that, South Koreans can get convicted for doing drugs in countries where it is legal. So if you are on someone's Instagram story in America smoking weed, you're a South Korean citizen, you go back to South Korea, technically they could arrest you for that and prosecute you, which is crazy. But yeah, it's like what I said in the video. If they're watching your videos in Parliament, you're fucked, dude. You know, that's how Friendly Jordy's got in so much trouble. They started watching his videos in Parliament. Next thing is, his house burns down. You don't want to be going viral in Parliament. Dude, my cat, all right? Well, I've got a long history with my two cats, all right? The first cat I've had for a long time, all right? And I've historically referred to her as the shit cat because she's mean, she's a bitch, she hits you, she bites you, she's a grumpy all the time. And she's been like that for her entire life. All right. And all I've managed to do is to learn to piss her off as little as possible. But I've never been able to form a good relationship with her. And I just put it down to she's a rescue. Maybe she had a problematic upbringing, right? Some cats are just like that. Okay. She would bite me. Or look at this scratch on my hand. She does this all to me all the time. All right. Do you know? And we never figure out what was wrong with her. Why she was always so angry. Do you know what happened the other day? We've always noticed that she would only drink water from human glasses because we have a cat bowl that the other cat uses, right? But shit cat only drinks from glasses. So one day we just thought, oh, well, let's get her own water fountain and put it up high where the other cat can't get it because she's so old she doesn't jump anymore. Dude, ever since we got her this new fountain, completely different cat. Completely different cat. It's every time I look at her, she's drinking water. She's drinking water all the time. And she comes up to me purring and asks for rubs. And she's nice to me. She hasn't hit me for weeks. She doesn't bite me anymore. She comes up to say hello. She doesn't run away from me. She doesn't hiss at me. This whole time, I thought I had a fucking demon evil cat that hated me. She was just thirsty and had very high standards when it comes to water. For 8 years of this cat's life, it's just been rolling around thirsty, dying of thirst, taking that out on me, but while refusing to drink, and then going, fuck you, man. I'm thirsty. But I'm not going to drink that because it smells like the other cat, and I don't like that cat because I'm thirsty. Now they get along. They used to fight all the time.
Is it that one?
No, that's sexy grandma. That's the old cat.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about Kitty. You know? Because there's no way I would have Kitty in the office here.
Yeah.
She'd probably attack you. She doesn't hit the dog anymore. Every time the dog would walk past the cat, she would go, ah, start hitting it. Now she's just like, what up, dude? Sorry, my bad. I was just thirsty. So that's baffling. That it was just thirsty, but it also refused to drink water that another cat had touched. So yeah, if you have a horrible cat, maybe it's just give it a drink of water. Try a different kind of water, and you'll immediately solve your relationship with your cat. Crazy. My other cat, though, very sweet. Sweet old cat lady, all right? Dumb as rocks. The dumbest cat ever. I've been taking her into the studio, right, with me a couple of times a week because I enjoy her company. And every time she was in here, she would scream and she would be terrified, so I stopped bringing her in here. Then one day I brought her in because we were doing something in the house, so I had to put her in here. And she just decided for some reason that it was finally safe. And now, every single fucking morning, if I do not take her into the studio, she will scream in the house for 4 hours at the back door, screaming to come into the studio. And what does she do when we're in the studio? Does she do anything fun? What's she doing right now?
Sleeping on the desk.
Yeah, and you've been here for a few hours and she's been asleep on the desk.
Yeah.
She just screams at the door so she can go to sleep on the desk. Dumb as rocks, bro. Do that in the house. You know, I was trying to bring her into the studio because you got to go through the backyard, right? And I don't like her being in the backyard very much because as soon as she sees a blade of grass, she eats it and then immediately vomits because she thinks she's a lawnmower, but she's actually a cat. I normally bring her in by guiding her with my foot. Not kicking, guiding. I just give her a little push on the bum and then she'll walk and then she'll stop and she'll eat some grass and then I'll give her a little push. And then we do that all the way to the studio. And then she goes, oh, fuck, we're in my favorite place. Time to go to sleep for 6 hours. This morning, I was trying to guide her out the front door. And because she is dumb as rocks, somehow she got turned around and then my foot was in her face and I wasn't moving. She tried to move forward and then walked into my foot and then panicked and then just went, "Ah!" Like I was trying to fucking kill it. When I'm just going, come on, let's go outside like you want to. He's like, he's trying to kill me. I've never tried to do that. So look, I'm having a tumultuous relationship with my cats. One of them's getting heaps better because it turns out she was just thirsty. And the other one is so dumb that I think it may have dementia and thinks I'm trying to kill it. But that's okay. I have had a bit of a rough week because I was really looking forward to schoolies this year. But one of the main reasons I was going to go to schoolies has actually been denied access to the country, which is really unfortunate. Very famous OnlyFans creator, Bonnie Blue. She's English. And her thing is she wants to bonk. What is it? She wants to bonk 100 men or 1,000 men. What is she trying to do?
I'm not sure. I'm looking it up now.
Her goal is to root as many men as possible, and she's like daily vlogging it and documenting it, and she's going viral, and she's on the Daily Mail and headlines everywhere for doing it. Every now and then I'll be scrolling through social media and she'll pop up in my feed and there's like 17 unwashed dudes looking at their shoelaces in the background, and she's like, all right, gonna root all these men today.
A bonkathon. I can't find the number, but she's doing a bonkathon.
Yeah. See, all of these lazy streamers, I'm doing a subathon. Boo. All right. Oh, I'm trying to get 1,000 subs. I'll dye my hair blue for 1,000 subs. Whatever, bro. Take 1,000 inches. All right. Give that a go. Yeah, she runs raffles and competitions that if you win, you can go and root her on her OnlyFans.
Last year, she slept with 150 guys in 2 weeks at Gold Coast schoolies.
Wow. That's wild. Is she filming all of these, or is she just like, is she filming them for OnlyFans, or is she just documenting how many men she's sleeping with for social media to attract people to go to her OnlyFans where she posts other content? Because that's what's interesting to me is like,
I'm not sure. Should we subscribe?
Yeah, give it a go. How much is it a month?
Let me find out. Private tab open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you just look, if you just look up OnlyFans, the search gets suppressed. I'll find it. I'll come back.
That's because I've got a safe search enabled here at Lewis Spears Incorporated.
Really?
No. No, my foster son doesn't live here anymore, so we've turned that safe search off. No longer needed. Yeah, I think that. So basically, she wanted to come back to schoolies, and if you don't know what schoolies is, it's like Freshers Week. Basically, you finish high school, you go to the Gold Coast, and you drink beers until you die. That's what schoolies is here in Australia. And her plan was to go to schoolies to root as many freshly 18-year-old boys as possible, which I don't like. I think that's yucky. But I think that's yucky when guys do that. Like guys my age will go to the Gold Coast and just try and pick up just 18-year-old drunk chicks that have finished high school.
$9 for 30 days.
USD or AUD?
USD.
What? That's like $13.
18 videos unlocked instantly.
Instantly.
Over 2
Well, that's not many
hours of
videos.
content. Yes, I am the spring breaker girl who filmed the 122 legal college boy in Cancun, and nearly as many in Australia during schoolies. I've even fucked.
Did she say film or rooted?
Filmed.
Wow.
I've just fucked even more at UK freshers.
Crazy. Yeah, that's the stuff that I was seeing. I think she's going really viral for the freshers stuff because she's like doing I saw her like, yeah, on the bonkathon or whatever it was. Like she was going, all right, I'm up to 20. And then a few hours later, she'd be like, all right, I'm up to 50. Dude, what's her?
It's only 25.
Yeah, but her pussy's 95. Dude, could you imagine the rash that you would have at the end of that? Rooting. If I had sex with 150 women, I wouldn't have a dick left in 24 hours? That's crazy. I couldn't do that stuff based on the friction alone. I feel like I would, like, if I had sex with 150 women in a week period, I would start hollowing girls out from the inside. My dick would be like sandpaper. I would have a callus on my cock. Have you ever seen a gymnast's hands? That'd be my dick. Bro, putting your dick in her pussy has got to be like, you know when Hamish and Andy went on that trip in the jungle and they put their hand in the ant glove and all the ants bite you? And it's like the most painful experience ever. That'd be like putting your dick in her, but instead of ants, it'd just be various STDs. This shit is crazy. I hope she's being safe. I am joking. She looks like a beautiful princess and a wholesome woman. And I'm sex positive. And I'm sure she's quite positive as well.
There's
free
OnlyFans.
Huh?
There's a free OnlyFans
Of her.
And there's also a paid one.
Yeah, I think the free one is like, the hustles on the OnlyFans is like you have your subscription service and that's like monthly fee and there's much more content. But then you have your free one where you join for free, but I think they message you like locked porn that you can pay $15 to unlock. I think that, because a lot of people are very outraged, including my mother, by the way. You know, my mum is the one who told me about this woman. That's the first time I heard about her. My mum went, have you seen this woman who's bonking all the boys after they finish high school? I went, no. She went, I've reported her on Instagram 10 times and she's still on there. It's disgusting. So my mum has personal beef with Bonnie Blue. I didn't know that. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I didn't think that she was filming and posting the boys. I don't like that.
I don't think she is. I think she's vlogging it and then only uploading professional porn, like shot with other porn stars.
Yeah, that's okay. Because I think like if she's 25 and she's rooting 18-year-olds, who cares? All right, that's fine. But I don't think 18-year-olds can make informed choices of whether they should be having sex. I don't think they can make informed choices of just becoming, like being part of porn. Especially on schoolies when a lot of these kids are like pissed and doing shit. I feel like there's maybe a little disconnect with these boys. I feel like they don't realize that they are also creating porn. Like they think they're like, yeah, I'm fucking a hot chick. It's not, you're creating porn, dude. You're becoming a porn star as well. You're just not getting paid for it at all. God, that'd be fucked. That'd be gross. I watched the videos of like the one where she tried to root as many dudes as possible in like 24 hours or something. And like just, she didn't film any faces, but just, I don't know. I could just tell that just from the shoelaces that a lot of these men were fucking smelly dorks and losers. Like you think a doctor's office waiting room is a bit fucked. Look at that guy. You wait till you're in the Bonnie Blue waiting room in an Airbnb. You know, the setup was you go in and you get like 7 minutes and there's a security guard standing there the whole time.
Really?
Yeah. Which she would need for her own safety, for sure. Because you can't just have like 200 men rock up and then be like, all right, 7 minutes is up, time to leave. There's going to be a few psychos there. Not very many well-adjusted people are showing up for the social media gangbang.
Well, if she's fucking 18-year-olds, it probably They don't need 7 minutes.
That's true. Maybe that's the meta. That's how you speed run it, is you got to go with 18.
Yeah. Good on her. I think good on her. And I think if she wants to fuck 18-year-old boys, go for your life.
Yeah, I think there's nothing. There's people are saying, oh yeah, you know, they're so young. It's like, look, the legal age of consent is the legal age of consent. It's fine. She's only 25. I think that. I mean, it sounds like she's not. I would say that if she's filming these boys and posting them on like the actual sex, I don't like that, and I think that's probably exploitative because you would imagine these kids aren't getting paid anything. And probably don't understand the repercussions of being in porn, the way that someone who actually is starting an OnlyFans account hopefully has thought about. But if she's not doing that, then yeah, I don't give a fuck. Who cares? It's all consensual. It's the age of consent. She's got security there. Everyone's safe. I think she might regret it when she's older. But also, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, you're going to regret doing porn. I think a lot of people don't realize that the really successful porn girls, they're not normal girls. They're not normal people. I've met and spoken to a lot of these women, and they're not, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I mean this in like, have you ever met a guy who's really good at chess? That's not a normal person. You know, like that's not a normal bloke. Like that guy who's fucking amazing at chess, he could not be a plumber with a wife and kids. He's got chess autism. And a lot of these girls that are superstar OnlyFans creators, like they genuinely love what they do, they've got porn autism. Like sometimes people go, oh man, Lewis, you're so fucking amazing what you're able to do. This is the only thing I'm able to do. All right. You should have seen me when I had a job. I was retarded. I mean, I have lucked out and I've managed to put myself in the only situation that I can almost thrive in. Put me anywhere else, it's all over. An Excel spreadsheet, I think I'll kill myself, all right? That's what a lot of these porn star girls, they're actually in their fucking element. Now, a lot of them do regret it because they're not built like that, but all these top performers, like these people that are filming themselves, rooting hundreds of people a year, making millions of dollars, you got to understand that a lot of them actually are not going to regret it because they're quite fucking autistic, literally. They're built different, bro. But yeah, I don't think there's anything morally wrong with what she's doing as long as she's not filming the kids. I feel like that's, well, the young men. But anyway, she was planning to come to schoolies this year to Australia, and the government blocked her passport. They cancelled it, which is really funny. No, you can't fuck our young boys. No. Cancelled. You're not allowed to do that.
She said in a TikTok, me and Annie Knight are going to be outside the Meriton Surfers Paradise, and we want to pleasure you and help you celebrate finishing school. On November 2nd, a petition was created to get her visa cancelled. Your mum signed that one, I'm sure.
I bet.
It received over 20,000 signatures in less than a week.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, if I created a reinstate her visa, there would be 60,000 signatures, and everyone will be from a kid who's 18, about to finish high school. I bet there already is one. Reinstate her visa. We want to root her.
It's not giving a reason why her application was rejected.
I mean, it's probably because she's working, right?
I think she's Australian. She's Aussie.
Then she wouldn't need a visa.
I don't know.
You can't have your visa cancelled if you're Australian. I think she's English. Aussies don't say bonk. She's saying I'm on a bonkathon. If she was Australian, she'd be like, I'm on a rootathon.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, she's English. There's another one that...
British.
Ugh. I take it back. She's disgusting.
Come here, let me suck your dick.
Let me suck you off, mate. Bottle of water. I'll have a bottle of water off that root, mate. There's other girls that are doing similar things that are like doing this like viral stunt type shit to promote their OnlyFans. One that I saw that really made me laugh was this girl on TikTok is like, oh my God, my boyfriend won a competition to go and have sex with this OnlyFans girl, and I'm going with him. How crazy is that? And I was like, oh, that's really funny, because they were just holding hands in an Uber. I was like, that's a really funny thing that's obviously not real. That's a good joke by the girlfriend. I love that joke. And then anyway, a couple of days later, I'm scrolling through Twitter and I just see someone else say what I thought. I assumed this was fake, but then I checked the girl's Instagram. She goes over to the OnlyFans Instagram and she's taking a selfie with the couple. I'm like, all right, here's Sarah. She's brought over her boyfriend. I'm going to go root him. And that's a pretty good one.
I think that's great. That's great advertising.
Supportive girlfriend. And that's great advertising. I bet that's not even real. That's genius. I bet the boyfriend and the girlfriend didn't actually do it. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, because that's such viral. I mean, we're talking about it now. What I don't like, though, is I hate that this stuff is all over social media and that children are exposed to it. I think that we really have to have, like, as people, we have to really take a look and reconsider the fact that so many of the most popular female influencers on social media platforms are porn stars. I think that's not good. I don't think that's good for 10 to 16-year-old kids to be watching every single female influencer have an OnlyFans link. I think that there's nothing wrong with sex work and there's nothing wrong with having OnlyFans and all that kind of stuff. I think it needs to be locked away to a certain part of social media that, like, you have to register with social media accounts like, I'm an adult creator. I promote pornography on other platforms. And then your videos can only be seen by people that are 18 plus. I think that it's not good for, like, a good example of this is like Michaela Tester in Australia. If you watch her on TikTok, you would probably have no idea that she is doing porn on OnlyFans, because she just does like these interesting daily vlogs and get ready with me to fly here and fly there and do this and do that. And I'm at this hotel and I'm in this country and I bought this. And, you know, like, she's just like a regular influencer. And that appeals so much to like 12-year-old girls. And then they go on the Instagram and then they find they've got a link and now, you know, oh, my favorite creator is a porn star. I'm 13 years old. Maybe that's how I get to live my dream life. It's like, it's not, I don't think that porn and social media should be so intrinsically linked because there are so many kids on social media. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing porn, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having like a social media account where you don't do sexy stuff, but you have it elsewhere. But I do think that if you have porn links, you shouldn't be shown to children. It's not good. It's like if the Wiggles also did porn. A lot of these daily vloggers on TikTok, it's literally like, oh, if the Wiggles had OnlyFans, but they never talked about it. Hot potato, do-do-do-do-do. And then if you click the spicy link, you know, they're running a train on Jeff while he's asleep. It's not. You don't want that to be happening. Yeah, all right. We just cut a good. Yeah, all right. Anyway, guys, this episode is sponsored by Manscaped.com. Use code 20spears for 20% off and free shipping your Manscaped products. I just used this morning, I used the new beard trimmer that they sent me on the correct setting, and it's great. It's exactly the length that I wanted at. Cleaned up my neck really well. The best one they've made. Get one. Keelan, you have recently been reunited with your lawnmower.
And can I tell you, smooth as a baby's bottom everywhere.
Wow.
my pubes, my chest,
Yep.
my back,
My
my pussy,
and my crack.
all of it. Didn't shave my arms because my arms have no tone, so it kind of looks weird when you've just got shaved arms. But everything else, my neck, as
Yeah.
well. Ugh, hairy old thing.
Yeah.
Shaved.
So you just left your hair everywhere in your bathroom?
Yes.
Or did you spend 3 hours in the shower?
I did. So I did the first half on the toilet. I'm a hairy guy. And there's a lot of area to cover full of hair.
Yeah, and that's on Patreon.
And so I shaved like my pubes and my thighs pretty much on the toilet, and then started my chest. The whole toilet was pretty much full of hair. And then I moved to more of the
What code did you use to get that?
20 spears.
Wow, one word?
Yes.
What does that get you though?
20% off and free shipping
Where?
at manscaped.com.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Good Christmas present as well. And
Great
then I
Christmas
moved
present.
to the shower to do like my neck and all the other stuff.
And your pussy and your crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't do my gooch though. I thought I should wait for maybe I should order a new Manscaped and get some clean caps. What are they called? Like covers before I start doing
The
my
guards.
Gooch. The guards, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yours is a bit clogged up from overuse.
Yeah. And again, yeah.
Manscaped.com. Use code 20spears for 20% off and free shipping. The best everything trimmer in the game. Speaking of children on social media, the Australian government wants to ban everyone under 16 from using social media at all. And they're going to do it. How long has this government has been in power? For like 2 years at least? 3 years.
Oh no.
Yes, 2 years. I haven't seen them do anything. I've never seen them more serious about any law being passed. This is the one they're going to pass. I haven't seen them make a single change at all. But this one, they're like, yeah, this is how we're going to change Australia. No kids on social media. Here's what I think about that. And I'd really be interested in your thoughts because it is like it's a big question. Like, should children be allowed on social media? I think that kids under 16 should not be on social media. I think that it's bad for them. I think that it fucking destroys teenage girls' minds and makes them hate their bodies. I think that it fucks with teenage boys' heads and exposes them to really toxic ideology that they don't have the nuance and life experience to understand. I think that it makes young boys hate women. I think it makes young girls hate themselves. I think that it makes everyone have an unrealistic idea of what life even is. It destroys attention spans. It's making us fucking illiterate. And it's just really, really not good for developing brains. So I don't think that anyone under 16 should be on social media or iPads or any of that shit. However, I also don't think that there's any way to make a law about that without doing tyranny on everyone else. Because how would you even implement that law? The only way that law actually makes practical sense is if every single person has to upload their ID to social media companies. And then that's not something that I want. I want the ability to be anonymous online. I think that's really important for journalism, for activism, for just privacy, for women that are fleeing violence, for men that have stalkers. You know, I think it's really important to have anonymity online. But how else would you make sure that no kids are using social media? That's the only way you could do it, right? Is getting the adults to put their IDs in. Or you would register your device with an ID, but then I could just give you my phone. So that you couldn't do that. I think this is so classic Australian government. They've come up with a law and they're gonna put it through, and they haven't thought about the repercussions of what will happen after it's implemented, and they definitely haven't thought of how it will be implemented. Like, you literally look at it. I read some of the description of the law that they put out. They can barely even describe what social media is, because that's another really interesting question is like, what is social media? Obviously, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Obviously, those are social media platforms. TikTok kinda is, I guess, because you can post on it. Is YouTube social media? Yes, no. They're defining it as it being social media. So they're saying that it is. I would argue that it's not.
I don't think the details are out yet, but they're going to include gaming platforms that include chat
That's what I was
features.
going to say next. Like any chat anything that has a chat feature is social media. So that's every single game that has an online functionality. You're going to have to upload your ID to, right? But is texting social media then? Yes. If a game having a message function means it's social media, then what? Every kid under 16 can't have a phone to text, like you can't have a Nokia? Is writing letters social media? Is talking to someone social media in real life? Do you see what I mean? I feel like it's such a, if you really think about what actually is social media, it kind of doesn't have a definition beyond something that has the functionality to speak to another person online. Games. So what? 4chan is social media? Is Reddit is? Any forum that you can post on? So if your fucking bike breaks down and you're looking for an answer, you can't log onto the forum to get an answer. Is ChatGPT social media? I'm talking to it. It's talking to me. I think that this is such an ill thought out law because so let's say everything that has chat functionality other than text messaging is social media, right? So the government, not only have they gone, all right, we're going to ban all of this for under 16s, they've also gone, we're going to make this the company's job to figure out how to make it possible. So they're just going full like, you figure it out. This is the law, you work it out. So, okay, with all the security concerns around TikTok, I got to give them my ID now? Tell them where I live? Does that mean that every single time I download a video game, right, I got to upload my ID to it? So if it's a developer in Russia, if it's a developer in America, I got to give my fucking home address out to every single company, every single app, every single game, every single social media company. Anything that has any sort of chat functionality, I have to give them my fucking home address on my driver's license, learner's permit. I feel like this is... How is this going to be implemented? I feel like this makes no sense and it's just going to piss me off. And you know what else? All right. This is just for me and you, tech savvy people who understand social media. Could you imagine, right, tomorrow, the government just goes, all right, everyone has to upload their ID to use any website or game or app that has a chat functionality. Can you imagine your mum, your dad, what's going to happen to them when every single fucking app and website on their phone just stops working and they've got to upload their ID to it and they don't know how to do it? You're going to have to fucking be tech support every time your mum downloads a new app. You know? Your dad's going to call you and be like, Candy Crush stopped working because they've got a messaging feature. I got to put my ID in a Candy Crush? This sucks. Does this mean that, here's another one, tourists, right? You land in Australia, all of a sudden, none of your apps work and you have a foreign ID. So it doesn't, you land in Australia and fucking you got to update WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat with your passport just to be able to use it. Is that going to happen to every single tourist? I don't see how this law could be implemented without just fucking over everyone's day. Unless you do digital ID, right? Now we're getting real conspiracy. They're trying to get us to do digital ID. So then you can link your digital ID with all the games. But they're not doing that because the government has just gone, you guys figure it out. Because if it was through digital ID, that would be the government being like, all right, not only have we thought out a law, we've also thought about implementing it. Here's our solution for the problems that we thought about.
I think the ID thing, like going tourist, won't really matter because when you go to like states in America or even I think the UK now, to log on to watch porn, you have to submit your ID. So people just won't watch porn. Like people now just don't watch porn or they use VPNs. The same thing will happen. I also think that the social media websites won't do a blanket ban or blanket ID. It'll just be individual cases of if they think you're under 16, they'll get you to prove your identity.
You think so?
I think that is most likely what will happen.
So it won't work.
Yeah. But they know that.
Yeah.
The government knows that. And the advisory boards are kind of like are admitting behind the scenes that it's on the social media companies.
Yes.
It's their burden.
Yeah, I agree with the spirit of the law. The idea I like, which is I don't think kids under 16 should be on social media.
It's a long-term policy for 15 years from now. It's not for this generation of kids.
Yeah, so you're saying, which is probably correct, is it's actually a law that's supposed to create cultural change with new parents, which is just every new parent knows that it's illegal for their kid to be on Instagram.
Yeah.
So they don't let their kid have one.
And I don't think that things like Reddit will be banned, will be blocked. You just may not be able to register an account.
Yeah. But there's like, I don't know. It makes me think of like those Channel 6 kids. In Australia, we've got a group of kids created this social media platform called Channel 6 and they do news. And they started it when they were really young. Yeah. Like one of the kids is a big fan of it, which is really cool. Something, I don't know.
Leo. That's his name.
That's right. Leo Puglisi or something?
Yeah, Puglisi.
Puglisi? There we go.
I love this kid. World's deepest voice.
Really?
Yeah, because he's a little kid when he started. Now he sounds like this.
Pretty hopeful of an increase at these Victorian local government elections, both in their seats and their statewide vote.
This kid is 16.
Yeah.
And he's just talking about local elections. And unironically, Channel 6 News is one of the best news sources in Australia, which says fucking heaps about all of our other news platforms. And it's not like they recently got good. They've been good for years. And the kid has been running it since he's like fucking 8 years old.
And during the lockdowns, he was the one announcing it before it happened.
That's right.
He'd always be like,
other journalists and politicians thought it was funny to leak when we would have lockdowns to the kid instead of to Channel 9 or the mainstream media. So somehow this like fucking 13-year-old kid would get advance notice of when the entire country was going into lockdown. He would tweet it out. People were like, oh yeah, he's fucking 12. What does he know? And then hours later, Channel 9 would do an emergency bulletin. Looks like we're going into lockdown. Oh, the kid was right. But with these laws, this kid doesn't exist. Like he's lucky that he's 16 now. He'll be able to continue doing Channel 6. But Channel 6 works with a bunch of children. So all of those kids, I assume, won't be able to be presenters or read the news or anything like that, which is a shame.
the government have 12 months to work out the details. But they have 2 weeks to pass it through Parliament before the end of the year.
That should not be legal. You can't pass a law and you don't even know what it does or how you're going to do it. Yeah, I hereby decree that everyone should be a millionaire. Figure it out. That's so fucking Australian, isn't it? Like, yeah, this is the law. We'll figure it out later. Someone else will do the thinking.
It's gonna pass for sure.
It'll pass, absolutely. It's the dumbest idea I've ever heard of, and it'll pass. I don't know. I'm being pessimistic about how the law will be applied, And I really hope that they don't figure out, the best way to protect kids is to do tyranny on everyone else. I hope that's not how they do it. That's how they will. I know they will.
I think it's a good thing, ultimately. Long term for when we have kids.
Yeah, because social media is really bad for kids. I was thinking about it. We are the last generation that got to see computers and social media emerge and experience. We're old enough to experience before and after, before and during. So, and we also got the internet when it was really good. Remember when the internet was just websites? That was great. Oh, I need to find some cheats for Grand Theft Auto. I'm going to go on cheatplanet.com. I want to look at Warhammer figures. I'm going to go on duckadducker.com.
It's going to be a very good thing for people like you who have VPN sponsorships.
Fuck yeah,
Your
baby.
commission code is going to blast.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know what every single ad read's going to be until the end of time. In Australia, you're not allowed to watch this if you're 16, but you know what? Chuck on this VPN. Because I guess that's another thing is like, because like the law applies to people under 16 and that's a group of people that you can't punish really. So all these kids have to do is get VPNs and then they're around the law and there's no repercussions for them. So that's what all the kids will do. But also, I guess that will mean that every single child on social media will be in hiding and they will be not posting their face, not posting evidence that they're kids, and that will keep them safe from predators, which is a good thing. So, but that doesn't protect them from getting their fucking brains hollowed out by social media. You know, I saw the funniest thing the other day. It was like these kids that were like 6 and 7, right? Two different families. They both had 2 kids, right? One was an iPad family where they arrived at the cafe and they were like, all right, here's your fucking iPad, shut up. They just gave them the screens and their eyes just fucking glazed over. The other family were a no screens family, right? Not even mum and dad were checking their phones, right? The two groups of kids, both the same ages, older and younger sibling, so 4 kids total. The no screens family running around, playing with sticks, doing this, doing that, having fun, talking to each other, talking to mum and dad, like, pretending, right? Oh, I'm a giant and I'm going to get you. And the other one going, oh, he's going to get me. He's a giant. Help. And I realized that I haven't seen pretending for fucking months. When's the last time you saw a kid go, I'm this? You don't see that anymore because every kid is just going, staring at the iPad, the shut up machine.
Just shut up. Yeah.
That's what it is. Shut up. Watch this. But then the kids' iPads died, both of them. So one died, and then the kid whose iPad died jumped on the other kids they were sharing for a bit, and then that died. Neither of them were charged. And then the 2 kids that were iPad kids had no idea what to do because they were there for an hour and they were just like, my fucking screen's gone. I can't be alive. I can't just sit here with my own thoughts. Another kid I saw just this morning was like, when did you learn to read? I was thinking about this. When could you look at a sign and read it when you're a kid?
5 or 6?
Yeah.
Probably maybe earlier.
I think a little bit earlier than that for me as well.
Yeah.
This kid.
We read a lot when we were kids.
This kid was like, I talked to him. He told me he was 8 years old because he was talking to my dog. How old's your dog? And I said, how old are you? He goes, I'm 8. Wow. Then he looks at this sign, this big roadwork sign, bigger than him. It says, watch your step. And he goes, what does that say? I went, can you sound it out? He went, no. I went, okay. It says, watch your step. He went, really? I went, yeah. Ran off. Oh my God. They can't read anymore. I sound like a boomer, but literally they can't read. And in America, it's even worse. The illiteracy crisis is going crazy. And when you really think about people not being able to read, that's when you start to see evidence of that in arguments that people have online and in comment sections and underneath news articles of which the headline they didn't even understand. Because reading isn't just being able to look at a word and seeing what it is. It's also being able to comprehend the text. And part of that comprehension is understanding, like, who is, like, all this shit that you did in primary school and high school, like, who is the intended audience of this? What is the author's goal? Do they have any biases? Right? Are they saying anything by omitting information? Are they saying anything, or are they omitting information by saying other things, right? All these things that make you look at text and go, I should use my brain to think about how I feel about this and try to understand how the author feels about this. All that stuff. People can't do that. A lot of people can't do that. Like a shockingly large amount of people don't even know that you can do that. And that's where you start. That's where you see arguments like someone posting, oh, you know, I think it's really good to stay fit and healthy. And someone be like, oh, so you hate disabled people who can't run? Oh, so people who can't use their legs are lazy? Is that what you're saying? No, because if you had reading comprehension, you would understand that my target audience is people with able bodies. Oh, so you hate women. People can't read anymore, and it's going to get so much worse. So maybe a little bit of tyranny will be okay. If it gets the kids off those damn screens, it'll turn your eyes square. I think our parents actually had a big point when my mum was telling me to stop playing Grand Theft Auto. It'll rot your brain. And now I can't hold a job, and the only way I'm buying food is by yelling, like the fucking GTA radio stations I used to listen to nonstop.
Slazzo. No, fuck. It's
not Slazzo.
Yeah, that's his name in the game, isn't it?
It's something. It's something like that. I don't think it's Slazzo. He's the guy with the afro. It's SL something. What is it?
I'm looking up. Laszlo.
Laszlo, that's right. Laszlo Radio. Dude, that was my favorite one too. Man, that was great.
Pets Overnight, that kind of thing.
I used to listen to in real life. There were all these online bootleg pirate radio stations in America you could tune into. Because I was always on 4chan when I was a kid, right? Again, I'm a great evidence use case of why this law is a good idea, because when I was 14, I was on 4chan like every day. But one positive part of that was 4chan always would find the most angry, conservative, religious nutter online radio station hosts from Texas and just call them up and string them along for phone calls. I think it was called Ghost Radio I used to listen to. And it was like this hyper-capitalist, mega conservative guy that would just fucking flip out on callers if you would call him up. I bet you can find compilations of it still on YouTube, like 4chan Trolls Ghost Radio or something. I bet you could find it. I think it was called Ghost Radio. There were dozens of them that there would just be threads and threads of like, this guy's live right now, start calling. And you would have like an intellectual debate with him for about 2 minutes, and then you would just start saying really fuck stuff or call him fat, and he would lose it. It was so good.
There's a compilation here. I'll put it on the Patreon.
Yeah. Good idea. Anyway, speaking of Patreon, guys, this Patreon episode's a good one. All right, it's a banger because we're going to recap Keelan's trip. All right, Keelan's gone to many different countries, And I've been
escaping the police.
escaped the police. He's a fugitive. He's on the run. Committed many heinous acts. You would have seen them on the news and on Kick. He was streaming at the time. Johnny Somali is actually where Keelan got the idea from.
They offered me $100 million to keep streaming on Kick.
Yeah, but he ended up killing his cameraman for fun, so they took the deal away. So we're going to do that on Patreon. And then next week on Patreon, I'm going to do the much sought after Warhammer episode. I went through my notebook from the day after I went, and I've taken the highlights and I'm putting them in order. And I'm going to do a monster Warhammer World podcast on Patreon where I'm going to run Keelan through it. Because I was going to do it by myself, but I thought it would be much better to have someone who doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about, Keelan, there to ask clarifying questions so that you understand what I'm saying. So those are the next 2 episodes, and the Keelan's UK trip is up right now. All right, we're going to leave it there. We're going to continue on Patreon. We are going to have a bunch of banger episodes going up on the Patreon over the next couple of months. And we're doing a big annual drive soon as well for the annual memberships. I've come up with a cool reward for everyone who signs up to the yearly option, which if you sign up to now, you'll get. But I will reveal it over the next couple of weeks. But I'm really excited about it. We've got a really cool idea. So stay tuned for that. It's going to help support the big swing. So jump over on Patreon. That episode is up right now. And I'll talk to you next Sunday. I hope you have a shit one. Bye.